We decided to start this planter to keep the mosquitoes out of our yard. So, or at least away from the picnic table. So we have some lemongrass, we have citronella growing back there. We have lavender, rosemary, lemon balm, and then we planted some marigolds around. So while they are a little stinky to us, they also tend to be a little stinky for the bugs, and they keep the bugs away. We absolutely love it. I like Fairless Hills Garden Center because we were able to get all of our plants relatively cheap. The lemongrass plants were only about $1 a piece. So this entire planter we got filled for under $8, which is amazing. So this is outside, and then we planted extra marigolds and lemon balm up near the porch. So last time the battery died when we were in the backyard, so we're gonna start in the backyard today. So now that I shared that, we have everything else. Hello. So there's the big blue barn everyone comments on Facebook. So it's a shed, it's not really a barn, I only have 1/4 of an acre. But it's our big blue barn. And this is the strawberry patch. We are doing really well. We have some, I'm in the shadows now, so that's funny. A lot of green strawberries out here, not very many red ones yet, but as you can tell, the patch has filled in very nicely. I uncovered this patch probably the beginning of April because we've had that really crazy weather, and there's a bunch of little bald spots down the middle, so it's all filled in nice, and we will get a lot of berries. Yes, there are a ton of plants. This bed is only 8 feet long by 2 feet wide, believe it or not. Last year we got quite a few berries, and with the number of blossoms, I am looking forward to lots of fresh strawberries this year. So this is a small bed. For me, it's a small bed. You need more. I know you want a lot more strawberries and to grow your own. So this started out probably with 18 plants. That's it. And it filled in and spread because strawberries put out runners. And those runners will plant, put out roots, and then they stay put. So they're really cool to have. Over here are our peas, our nice cool weather vegetables, which have been adoring this weather, although I have not been. It's been cool and rainy. So you can see all of our peas are growing. Some of these vines are now almost as tall as I am, and I'm 6 foot, so they're getting there. Our trellis is just a cattle panel held up with some T-posts that we drive into the ground. And while I don't see any blossoms or pea pods on here yet, I'm hoping that we'll have some peas probably Memorial Day weekend, so 1 more week. So I'm excited. These are our other cool weather vegetables. So usually by now you want to get more into gardening. Well, welcome. If you want to get more into gardening, I would love to show you some more things. Welcome to my page. Come out and check out Happily Homegrown. There's a whole gardening tab with some great stuff on there for you. These are some cool weather vegetables. So we have broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage. Usually by now it's gotten warm. 3rd-story apartment. Do you have a patio? If you have a patio, you'd be amazed how much you can grow in little pots and things on your patio. Yes, you can even grow fruit trees. There's column fruit trees that you can grow. Thank you, Larisha. And you can grow them in a pot right on your porch. You can grow, obviously, peas and things like this that climb. You can either have them climb up or climb down. Something like a broccoli plant that looks really big, but you can put 1 broccoli plant in a pot that has about a 12-inch diameter. So there's lots you can do. Even on a balcony. Things like strawberries can go in hanging baskets. Grape tomatoes go really well in hanging baskets, so you have lots of options for container gardens as well. Things like lettuce and carrots you can actually grow in the house. So you don't even need to take them outside as long as they're in a sunny spot because they don't need a pollinator. So they just grow and they're happy as can be being indoors as well, and then you can have fresh veg all year round. So our cold weather, this is my broccoli. I'm very happy. We have broccoli in here, and it's actually growing. I have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4 broccoli plants that are doing well right now. The lighter green leaf here, these are cauliflower, and I do not have any of the little white florets in there yet. Brussels sprouts, and if we peek down, in between, you can see little itty bitty Brussels sprouts. Don't know how that's going to show on the video. There you go. You can see little itty bitty Brussels sprouts starting in there. So I have to get in there and prune out those bottom leaves to give them room. And then over here is the cabbage, and you can tell the cabbage has already started to form a head. So we will have cabbage to make our coleslaw for our 4th of July picnic. It won't be ready in time for Memorial Day, but I can live with that. And that bed is 3 feet by 8, and we have all that shoved in there. We do a lot of square foot gardening and high density gardening where we plant a lot in a very small area. Over here, this is the row that you see towards your right is all zucchini. And the row to the left, I have 2 watermelons and then some cucumbers. I had started these all from seed, and none of them made it once we transplanted them outside between the critters and the weather and everything. So hit the garden center. They had some great deals on Mother's Day weekend. I shopped, and yesterday I planted. So everything's in here. There will be a trellis, and the cucumbers and the watermelons will grow on a trellis. These watermelons only get to be about the size of a bowling ball, so they're not really big, so they can grow on a trellis just fine. This entire bed, 18 plants, Amish paste tomatoes. I plan on doing a lot of canning this summer. So this is 18 Amish paste tomatoes. These are a plum style tomato. Pantyhose for the trellis, I have not. Last year I just let them go, and I was still getting 5 and 6 pound cantaloupes and 5 and 6 pound watermelons. So they weren't huge, they weren't like the 12, 13 pounds, but I didn't give any little hammocks to them at all. I might try that this year if they start to get really big. So this is the tomatoes. These are all plum styles. This is for making tomato sauce. And then the beginning of the orchard. This is the big, ginormous peach tree. This is the oldest fruit tree in the yard. And here is a wee little peach. So I do have quite a few peaches on the tree. These will be harvested in July if they all make it. And they're nice, fuzzy little peaches. I'm very happy to have peaches. This will be our first year getting a peach harvest. The 3 apple trees, 1, 2, and 3. These are new. Your peaches are like double the size of yours. Are yours still in the shade? If yours are still under some shade, that might have something to do with it. Mine gets direct sun. So mine's also an older tree and it's in the ground. I don't think yours is as old as mine. No, okay. Apple trees, we're not getting fruit from them this year. Here is the rest of the orchard that has yet to be planted. I have more apples. There you go. It's pitted though. What do you mean it's pitted? Oh, potted. That makes more sense. It's potted. So 2 varieties of peaches. One is smaller, is that size, the other is smaller. So if you have a smaller peach, if your peaches are smaller than that, it could be one of 2 things. It could be that if it's the same variety that you're in the shade, and therefore it's not growing quite as fast. The other thing is it could be a different variety. That variety harvests late July. You could have a variety that harvests in September, and therefore they're not going to be quite as far along. This is the Pollinator Garden. It's going slow, but it's growing and it's doing well. And there is my daughter's cherry tree. And as you can see with the cars going by, I live in the middle of suburbia. I only have a 1/4 acre, corner property, middle of a neighborhood. And we can grow all of this here. We have cherries starting. There's one of the little green cherries. There's actually quite a few on here. We're looking forward to having some cherries this year. This is a Montmorency cherry, so it's tart. It's what you're used to for pie cherries. There's the first of the blueberries. And I still have bags of compost and peat moss and soil because we have more beds going in. This is our Bartlett Pear tree, and last time I showed you this tree, there were still white blossoms on it. Now, check it, we got pears. There are quite a few pears. This is the 2nd year with this tree, and we have gotten quite a few pears on it. We counted more than 20 pears on this one tree, and it's only a little taller than I am. It's a 7-foot tree. Front yard, we also have string beans growing here along the sidewalk. So this side is all string beans. The ones closest that actually look really nice. These are transplants. I cheated. I ran out of seed. So then these little guys that are smaller, and I'm in the shadow, this is bad, I should do video in the morning if I'm outside. So these little guys here, that is one that started from seed. Over here we have some more strawberries, and this is my exciting one for the day. I have one right there, it's red. It has a little white nose still, so we can't quite eat it yet. But this bed next to the house is 10 feet long, 1 foot wide, and it will be full of strawberries for next year. So we're looking forward to that. Yay! I know, we're having more strawberries. So we have that bed in the back, and then we're adding more on top of it. We have another pear tree. This is a Moonglow pear. And they're huge. They're getting there. This is a slightly earlier harvest. Makes sense, yes. Hey, if you can grow it yourself, then all the better. Grow all the strawberries. Eat all the strawberries. The 3 kids will hoover an entire thing of strawberries. We went down to Stella's farm a week ago, down by you, and got strawberries, and one of the quarts didn't make it home. So they ate it right away. So they're waiting patiently for ours to come in so that they can run and hit the yard and eat them. That one red one, I should probably eat it soon, or when the kids come out today, they'll find it and I won't get to have it. So that's the other pear tree. So we have lots of pears and peaches coming in this year. Then there's all my blueberry bushes. I want to grow strawberries and everything else. I say you can. There's no reason you can't grow strawberries and everything else. Even if you only have a little bit of space. Ah, Larisha, I missed your comment. It went away. It was trapped in a sunbeam. Okay. These are our blueberry bushes. We have, I think, 18 blueberry bushes now. I've lost track. And we have blueberries. So there are some nice blueberries forming. And I said the kids ate all your strawberries last year. They will eat all your strawberries last year, this year, yesterday, today, tomorrow. If they're hiding in the freezer, they'll nosh on them when they're frozen. It doesn't matter. The children are little strawberry demons. They will just gobble them all up. They're as bad as a Cookie Monster, but with berries. So we have the blueberries, and unfortunately my 3-year-old, almost 3-year-old, decided to try one. Oh, it's a blueberry. They don't taste very good yet because they're not ripe. So he's now afraid of the blueberries. If that means I wait until they harvest, I'm good with that. So blueberries go down the whole line here. I have 2 large gardens anymore. Aww. I miss having gardens, and when we had a tree in our backyard and when it fell down, I took advantage of having sunlight again. So now we garden out back, and then we're out front now. Once we put up the fence, I said all bets are off. So I'm gardening everywhere. My husband likes that he has less area to mow. This is my spring salad garden, and it's starting to turn over and not be salad anymore. So we have onion, spinach, and lettuces in the front. My mesclun mix here. And now we also have some tomatoes and eggplant. They're my 3 heirloom tomatoes. So if you're keeping track, 18 tomatoes out front plus these 3, okay? And then that discolored green here, that's greenish yellowish, that's celery. And I'm not quite sure how it's doing. I've never grown celery before. We'll see what happens. That was a transplant. I'm not sure how happy it is or isn't. This bed has rhubarb down the middle and garlic and onions. And then here in the front, all these fluffy tops, these are carrots. Carrot tops, dill, parsley are also the host plant for swallowtail butterflies. So in the very near future, I will be seeing lots of caterpillars noshing on the tops. But you don't have to worry about that because they can eat the tops and your carrots will still grow underneath. So you can have butterflies in your garden. And then I have the greenhouse where we have the corn, and very little has started under there properly. So we transplanted our corn, and this is Jersey Silver Queen, and this was just transplanted recently. This will not be ready for Memorial Day, or maybe not even for 4th of July, probably sometime late July, early August. Right now they are less than 6 inches tall. And again, high density planting, because normally you would only have probably 2 or 3 corn plants in this much space. But instead we have over a dozen. So that'll be really good. This whole bed will eventually be corn, because it is the one vegetable my husband will eat. And I plan on doing a bunch so that we can freeze it and can it later on. And I mean, besides, who doesn't love fresh corn on the cob? I know. Larisha, you and I joke about the fact that he doesn't eat anything. So I'll give him his one bed of vegetables of something he'll eat. The rest of it is for me and the children. Then we have 2 more beds that we added. So at the beginning of this gardening year, we said, oh, we're not adding any more gardens. Then my husband said, oh, let's add 2 more gardens. So here's the 2 new gardens that we just built last week and have filled over the last few days. These beds are 6 by 4. And again, they have tomatoes. I counted up for a friend. We have 35 tomato plants that are growing this year. I might be a little bit crazy. And I'm going to regret this in August when I'm canning and they're all coming into harvest. But right now I think it's awesome that I have 35 tomato plants. I will be crazy later on though. So this row here is all Amish paste because I ended up finding another 6-pack of them, aiming for 38 tomatoes. Okay, I'm not the only crazy one that has lots of tomato plants. This row here, we have Brandywines, and then we have 2 San Marzanos, and then we have 2 yellow slicing tomatoes. You won't have to, I won't go to Stella's or Specca's farm for the tomatoes this year. That's the goal. So we'll see what happens. You never know, those squirrels could come around, or a groundhog or something like that, and nibble my plants, and I'm left with like 1 or 2. So knock wood, hasn't happened yet. We'll see where we're going with all this. A row of 6 red pepper plants, a row of 6 green pepper plants. They're sweet pepper, bell pepper. This bed back here, these last 2 are also tomatoes. Don't feel so behind, okay? I have more space than you, and I can leave my kids and like lock them in the house. I don't lock them in the house. Tell them to stay inside, watch cartoons for a little bit so I can come out and do this. Your 2 little ones are still chasing you around or attached to you. Don't worry about it. You're not behind. I transplanted everything yesterday. That's the trick. You buy them already started. Everything I started from seed just about died. It didn't work. So I cheated this year and I went to the garden center, and I would have gotten away with it too if my husband didn't see the bank statement and know where I was going, because I used the household account instead of my fun money account. So here we have Poblano. I know, he loves me though, and it's better to be doing this than buying more shoes and stuff like that. At least this we can eat. So use cash next time. I know I need to go back to my cash system and my envelopes, and then just like keep stashing it away. And then he won't have any real idea as to what I'm doing and what I'm buying until these come home, and he's like, oh, what's this? I'm like, oh, it's been here. This old thing, we started them from seed in the basement. Don't you remember? Hint. My luck, he'll see the video and it won't go over so well. But hey, that's what 15 years of marriage. He knows what to argue with me on and what to just go, it's her thing, let it go. He has a motorcycle, so it's even. So we have 2 hot peppers. No, that's more than 2. That's 4 hot peppers. Then I have a row of Cubanelle peppers because I love them as a sweet frying pepper. I have a row of cantaloupe, which I'm not trellising this year, at least not right now. I'm planning to let them just grow flat and we'll see what happens. And then this last row here is yellow squash. So I don't like yellow squash. I don't know why I'm growing yellow squash. I like zucchini. I think I bought this on accident, and that's why I'm planting this. I thought I bought 2 packs of zucchini. Oh, you like yellow squash? Okay, they're for you, Larisha. I'll do road trips and drop them off to you. My mother likes it too, so I'll be giving it to her, to random neighbors, and things like that. Yeah, I'll feed you and Mom and stuff. So green onions here. So these were planted from onion sets. And I'm turning around because I don't want the neighborhood kids on video as they're walking home from school. So we'll check out this garden bed again while they walk past. And so this is rhubarb. I had a neighbor think it was chard the other day. I'm not growing chard. So this is rhubarb. If you've never had it, you do not eat the leaves. And you don't feed the leaves to your livestock or bunnies or anything either. They don't eat them. They're actually poisonous, or so I've always been told. But the stems are sweet tart. It's a vegetable that most people use as a fruit. It's really good in jam and pie and crumbles. Rhubarb, I know, rhubarb's amazing. They like to be ignored. So the one that I ignore is doing really well. The one that I like fuss over and make sure it's mulch and stuff. Can you compost the leaves? I've always composted the leaves without a problem. But I think it's consumption of the leaves that is the problem. That's what I've always been told growing up. I will double check. I will message my father-in-law and just double check and make sure I'm supposed to be doing that. It's the benefit of having a family member who grew up on a farm and went to farmer's college back in the days. He knows all those tips and tricks, and I can pick his brain when I get questions like that. So I'll confirm and let you know. But I've always composted them without any problem. So kids are almost done walking home from school. Yeah, so here's my little cheat. Am I setting up the rain barrels this year? That is a fine question. Those rain barrels have been sitting in my backyard for over a year now, and we haven't done anything with them yet. So I'm really hoping that that will be Steve's project and we get them done. Here's my cheat, so you can tell I went to the nursery. Here's everything that hasn't been planted yet. Larisha, some of them might be coming to you. I'll be honest. I overdid it shopping. So I've already given out a few eggplant plants. So this was the first of my projects today. That is a Concord Grape. So I posted the first of the Concord Grapes. Those of you who are on the Greater Philadelphia Gardening and Homesteading page saw me posting about the grapes. You need to set them up. Got one last month and loved it. What did you get last month and love? I'm sorry, I must have missed a line there. Oh, the rain barrels. Yes, I really need to set up the rain barrels. I mean, we're having a monsoon on Saturday. We're supposed to get almost 2 inches of rain, and I don't have any rain barrels set up. So I'm really bummed. I'm going to have my husband talk to everybody else's husbands who have their rain barrels set up, and we'll get this game going soon. We have 6 barrels, and they're just empty and sitting there. You want to be my neighbor, Larisha, too. Larisha and I keep joking we need to go buy like 20 acres somewhere and just take it over. But if you want to be my neighbor, there is a house for sale. Over there, that corner, see where the van is? That house right there, catty corner for me, is for sale. There's a pear tree in the front yard, and then you can walk over here and we'll trade veggies. So we'll chat. Will I get grapes this year? No, I will not get grapes this year. I will probably get grapes on this one next year, because this is an older, more established plant. On the ones I planted as bare root today, it'll probably be 2 or 3 years. So it'll be a while. I don't plan on moving unless I hit the lotto. And then I'll buy a place that has established plants already, or I'll pay someone big money to do that. Dig everything up here and move it with me. But I need to hit lotto first for that to happen. So this is a Concord Grape. These are all eating grapes. I buy my wine, I don't make my wine. I'm lazy that way. Yep, there's a and I can transfer Whole Foods. We have a Whole Foods in Princeton. It's only about 15-20 minutes away, depending on traffic on Route 1. All right, so here is the other Concord Grape. So I have 2 here. The third one is sitting over there in the wheelbarrow because I cannot plant it there where I wanted to because of the maple tree roots. So I need to figure something out to be able to get it to go in the space. But these are all eating grapes. The Concords are for making juice and for making jam. And there's my other one sitting in the wheelbarrow. Concord wine that tastes like jelly. I don't think I would like wine that tastes like jelly. It doesn't work for me. I don't drink purple grape juice for that reason. And then these are the other grapes we have that need to be planted. These I got from Lowe's back in March, and they're still in their little bags. I've been watering them, but you can see the green. So they're alive and doing well. So the green grapes, you love grape juice. I love grape juice too. But I don't like purple grape juice. I like the white grape juice, and that's why we have these. These are called Himrod, and it is a seedless green grape. They like full sun, and they are a mid-August harvest. And no purple, no purple. And then these are Reliance grapes. Okay, it is a red table grape. It also harvests it says mid-August. I've looked up at other things, and in this area it's actually late August, so I'll have a stagger of grapes. The Concords are more in September. So you have to keep that in mind. If you're planting grapes or fruit trees, keep in mind when they harvest so you don't overwhelm yourself. Yum. I know, all the fresh fruit is very yum. I grew up, let's see if I can stand up and push on the fence without knocking a rail out. Have you come to set up my yard? I do that now. So I don't do the physical labor for other people, but I do garden consulting on the side, and it is something I enjoy doing and love doing very much. I have set up gardens, 2 at one of the local schools, and then 3 neighborhood gardens for people's homes. And we can definitely chat. You can send me an email at stephanie@happilyhomegrown.com and tell me just in the subject gardening consult, and we'll chat and we can come up with something. Again, I don't do the physical labor. I am not a landscaper. I don't do the physical labor. If you're local, I can come to you and give you an assessment of your yard, where would be the best places to plant things. Thanks. And if you are not local, then we do it through video chats and stuff like that. So I am more than happy to help people try to set up their gardens and figure out what they can grow in limited space. So again, we have a 1/4 acre in the middle of suburbia. So it's not a whole lot of space. It's a normal sized yard, and I still have to have room for the children to play. So we grow where we can, and we do grow a lot. So that is all that. If there are any questions before we go, and you will be able to find some of the details and a link to this video shortly on happilyhomegrown.com/scope. Thanks for sharing. Well, thank you so much for coming by. You got me on video again. I told you I would do it eventually. So this is May in the garden. And considering the cold weather we've been having lately, it has been going pretty well. So I can't wait to share what else we have going on in the coming weeks and coming months as we get near harvest. All right, everybody, have a great Thursday afternoon. Enjoy the beautiful weather we're having today. You do great on here, so much good info. Oh, I'm glad you find it useful and it's good info. Enjoy the beautiful weather and stay dry this weekend with that craziness. All right, bye everybody, have a good one.